So that's the big difference. I mean, that's a scary thing for the Ravens going into the future, and that's why I'm not saying they need to limit his runs. And also, the last quick thing I'll say about Lamar, except for like one or two runs that he had, I think for the most part, again, it is funny because he's playing against Russell Wilson, kind of taking a page out of Russell Wilson. On a lot of those runs, he dodged taking like any big hits. So like if you can maybe get away with running more like Lamar has, as long as you don't take those kill shots. So.
Right.
As he said at that press conference not long ago, not bad for a running back.
Right.
Okay, other highlights from the week. Teddy Two Gloves with the Bears. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Well, that wasn't a game. That was just an exhibition of how
that was a scrimmage.
It definitely.
Well, Teddy keeps making bank with every game he plays.
Yeah.
5-0.
Well, you know, like how much pressure is put on Drew Brees. Drew Brees has come out and pretty much said, he's like, I'm going to try to play. I'm going to practice this week. Like he's feeling the pressure.
Right.
Like it's like he feels the team slipping away from him. But it does make it interesting because you look at it like Bridgewater is obviously making himself a lot of bank. So like, does he enter the market or does he want to leave? Because obviously Drew Brees is at the close end of the career, and obviously Sean Payton has a love for Teddy Bridgewater. So,
well, yeah, I think he's improved himself. You know, before he was a clipboard quarterback who could come in and manage the game for you. Now he can come in and actually win games for you. And that makes all the difference.
And it looks like he's having fun on the sidelines, cutting up, and doesn't seem like he's under any pressure at all.
And think about this: he was missing two of his better offensive weapons. Jarrett Cook was out, their tight end, and obviously Alvin Kamara is probably their most important skill position player besides Michael Thomas.
Right.
So.
No, it's amazing and really gratifying for folks to see a guy who. I mean, that was a heinous injury that he had, and nobody expected him to come back. And no matter what happens in New Orleans, he will play somewhere next year. He will start somewhere next year.
Or he could be like Matt Moore and be a scout for the Dolphins last year, and now he's starting for the Chiefs. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, where are all the quarterbacks? Give me a quarterback, please. Come on, give me a quarterback.
I'll just say, I guess, two quick observations.
Yes.
Viking offense, considering, obviously there was injuries to the Lions defense, but what the Vikings did on the road, like throwing for 337 yards passing, 4 TDs through the air, 160 yards rushing, 2 rushing touchdowns, they completely just offensively handle Detroit. And again, I still think Detroit's a very talented team, but it was just very impressive. And also I think Frank Wright was the best coach of the 18 class, which is funny because he wasn't even supposed to be a head coach of the 18 class. I mean, when you look at what Jacoby Brissett has done and stepping in for Andrew Luck, and also it's a big credit, again, we've talked about it a little bit with Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett, like, they paid him before the season because they knew inside the building before, like, anyone else had faith in him. Like, he's good. He's good.
He is. I was shocked by, not shocked so much, but pleasantly surprised at the very least at Indianapolis. I mean, they're good defensively as well.
Yeah, Justin Houston, he was one of their big free agent signings. He had 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 4 QB hits. So
the AFC South is wrapped up.
Well, that's the thing that's interesting. Again, kind of going back to we don't know obviously all the teams are in, but obviously it feels like the AFC is more kind of crystallized and kind of like what it's going to be. 2 teams are going to come out of the East, obviously the Patriots and Buffalo. 1 team out of the North, that'll probably be the Ravens. 2 teams will probably come out of the South. Probably the Colts will win the division, but maybe the Texans, but it's probably those 2 locked in. And then the one that's still kind of up in the air because obviously injury to Patrick Mahomes, but it feels like still the Chiefs are kind of the team that will be kind of positioned. Possibly the Raiders, actually probably second. So,
yeah, see the Chiefs. I'm a little nervous about the Chiefs, because they put so much stock in Mahomes, and we'll see. I mean, he again, like Lamar, can move things that other people can't move. I mean, they can get those first downs, and they can get you little pieces here and there that nobody else could do.
Yeah, and they do it in different ways. Like, obviously, Lamar is nowhere near a passer that Patrick Mahomes is. Patrick Mahomes is more like Aaron Rodgers, where he moves around, but he moves around to throw darts down the field like a Rodgers. But I get what you're saying. They're so dependent on their overall, like, encompassing playmaking skill.
Yeah, I think, the team gets caught up in that, too, where you can have a letdown just because it's like, he's not there. What are we going to do? That kind of thing.
But you know what? Credit them. I'll just keep this. And also, maybe it's just how bad Flacco was. Credit them. Like, he went out, and the defense actually played really well. I think they had 9 sacks in that game, and they held them to 6 points. Denver, and also everyone was rushing on them. They had no success running the ball on them. So
yeah. So is it time for wild ass prediction?
It is. It's that time of our program where we just pick stuff for no good reason. So with traffic and weather on the 4s, here's Lugs.
I guess my wild ass prediction, Alabama won't make the playoffs this time around.
Alabama Crimson Tide does not make the top 4.
And Saban, though, will get a better hairstylist and a better dye job.
In his contract.
I don't know if it's necessarily doubling down, but just kind of building off of what Lugs had to say.
Yes.
I think, again, going 3 weeks from now, I think with probably, even if he plays, Tua is not going to be 100%. I think LSU beats Alabama. And for me, that doesn't necessarily mean they don't make the playoffs, but it definitely puts them kind of outside looking in.
LSU beats Alabama.
Yep, in 3 weeks.
All right, my wild-ass prediction is the Chicago Bears. Thanks for participating so long. We have lovely parting gifts for you. It's over for them.
Yeah, well, to be fair to your point, you look at the Packers, you look at the Vikings, and then you look at Carolina, and then you look at there's 3 teams still in playoff hunt in the West. So, yeah, to be fair to your point, they're pretty much cooked. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you.
All right, on that happy note, let's,
Does that bring to a close, or?
Yeah, it does, I do believe.
Okay, that brings to a close another episode. You've just wasted 20 minutes again. You'll never get that back, and we thank you for that. You know, guys, I watched a game this weekend, and Dick Stockton called the play-by-play. Frankly, I thought he was dead.
Dick Stockton.
And in his memory or in his honor, I guess I should say honor, as Dick would say, you can't put that genie back in the bottle. Yep, so long.